The Nicholson River rises in the Great Dividing Range at about 1,300 metres above sea level. It winds its way through native forests down to the floodplain where it meets Lake King in the Gippsland Lakes Ramsar site. The Nicholson River is one of our smaller rivers, but it provides us with a unique opportunity to connect the Gippsland Lakes to our alpine environments. A history of fire, forestry and mining has shaped the Nicholson River catchment. The river supports a whole range of values, including rainforests and a diverse range of native fish species, including the threatened Australian grayling, the unique river blackfish, and a whole lot of important species for recreational anglers.
The Nicholson Angling Club's been around for 51 years. We promote catch and release. Your main species of fish is your bream, your mullet and your bass, your perch, the odd mulloway. But flat eaters are really getting popular now. The CMO have done a fantastic job promoting the habitat and the works they've done in the rivers and out the mouths of the rivers. It's good, it's very healthy.
Although it's a wonderful landscape, the Nicholson River has its share of threats, some more common and some particularly unique to this river. Willows often invade from alpine environments, spread downstream and can choke out our native vegetation along the banks and in the river channel. The access of stock to the river and the wetlands alongside it impacts the extent and quality of native vegetation, causes erosion and impacts our water quality.
The 2020 fires that came through here affected the Canucas along the river most of all, having pretty much killed off any of the above ground stems, no matter what size they were pretty much all killed. Not all is lost because the Canucas have a lignotuber, which is the underground portion of the tree. A lot of those lignotubers have survived and therefore we've got this resprouting happening at the base of the trees. In time, if we wait long enough, we'll see the larger stems form and the overhanging gallery effect over the river.
The Nicholson River Landcare Group commenced in 2004. We currently have about 35 members. We look after a little over 3,000 hectares of land as our responsibility, which commences at the mouth of the Nicholson River and goes right through to Sarsfield.
The focus of the work here is really related to reducing sediment into the Nicholson River and in turn the Gippsland Lakes.
People say to you, what is funky? Friends of the Upper Nicholson Catchment Incorporated. So we decided not to call ourselves a Landcare Group purely because we have such a broad range of citizen science interests.
Well, we've got about 26 members. We were formed in 2017 and we're mostly from people around the Nicholson River and this area.
So you look at this place, and as Liz said, it was a grazing paddock, and you look at it now and we're standing amongst a re-veg area. There's some beautiful big old trees that have survived, and I think that legacy with the covenants is a real, for me, a buzz.
We've got so many places here that are covenanted, so that protection will last when we all are no longer here, but that protection will still be there.
Trust for Nature is actually one of Australia's oldest conservation organisations. We work right across Victoria with private landholders to protect beautiful bush blocks like this one in perpetuity. There are 7 conservation covenants within this area that have frontage to the Nicholson River. Private landholders are the key to protecting these sorts of areas. They live on the properties often, they see the changes that are occurring, they see the damage, and they can act accordingly.
This is the Nicholson River Dam. It was built in 1976 and decommissioned in the early 2000s. It's only a small dam, around 640 megalitres. The Nicholson River Dam was built to supply drinking water to lakes entrance and other towns. Supply from the dam was discontinued following the transfer of the water supply entitlement to the Mitchell River system. Issues were identified with the quality of the raw water from the dam, including unsatisfactory colour levels prior to treatment. For native fish, the Nicholson Dam limits the distribution of 70% of fish species that must move between freshwater and the Gippsland Lakes or the ocean to complete their life cycle. The dam is also a complete barrier to migration for most native migratory fish species, including Australian bass and Australian grayling. Like all dams, the Nicholson River Dam changes the natural flow regimes and removes all but the larger floods from the system. By impacting the frequency and length of small flow events, also known as freshers, variability in the way water flows down the river has been lost. The removal of the dam will provide the opportunity for significant recovery and recolonisation of native fish populations, improved riparian health and a natural flow regime. The lower Nicholson River supports some of the largest fringing wetlands in the eastern part of the Gippsland lakes. Climate change and rising sea levels have the potential to affect the ecology of these wetlands into the future. We are trying to find ways for these wetland habitats to move and adapt as our climate changes.